You know those days where everything just, I don't know, it clicks. Where you feel totally on point, information just flows in.
Oh, absolutely. We all have them.
Whether it's for like a big meeting or maybe learning something new. That feeling of wanting to learn well, perform at your best. We all chase that, right?
It's definitely a universal thing. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at power learning, memory and learning techniques for personal power by Dr. Donald J. Laughlin.
Power learning, okay.
Yeah, and our mission here is to really pull out the best, most practical stuff from his work. Stuff to help you tap into that potential you already have, improve memory, learn faster.
But more than just memory, right? You mentioned personal power.
Exactly, boosting your overall personal power. We're going to unpack some honestly surprising facts and really actionable insights, things you can use.
Okay, I'm ready. Where do we start? Dr. Laughlin talks about special days, right?
Yes, that's the foundation. Those days we mentioned where you feel relaxed, spontaneous, happy, energetic.
Yeah, things just seem to fall into place. Your tennis serve is amazing, or you nail every question in that meeting.
Right. And the book says, it seems that we couldn't have planned the day better. But here's the fascinating part. Dr. Laughlin says these aren't just luck. No. They're linked to specific neurological states. He calls them empowering or resourceful states. And the big insight is these states are reproducible, neurologically reproducible.
Reproducible, so we could potentially feel like that more often.
That's the idea. Your brain actually makes certain chemicals, neuropeptides, neurotransmitters, when you're in those states.
So it's actual brain chemistry changing.
Precisely. Like when you feel really powerful, your brain produces something similar to interleukin-2.
Doesn't that fight cancer cells?
It does,
Yeah.
and known to destroy them.
Yeah.
And when you feel calm, your brain makes its own natural tranquilizer like Valium, but, without the side effects.
Wow, okay. And this isn't just in the brain.
No, and that's a critical point you bring up. It affects the entire body. Think about it. When you're happy, it's not just in your head.
Yeah.
You've had happy eyes, your posture changes, maybe even your heart feels lighter.
True.
And the flip side, if you're sad, those sadness transmitters, they land on receptors in your kidneys, your stomach, your skin. Your whole body feels it.
Which leads to the big question. If our bodies can make these great chemicals, why aren't we feeling that way all the time?
Exactly. What's stopping us?
So the good news is, Dr. Laughlin says we can influence this consciously.
Yes. We can consciously direct our states.
Yeah.
And there are two main keys he identifies.
Okay, what are they?
First one is physiology. Basically how you feel physically.
Like being rested, exercise.
Exactly. Think about those special days. Often they come after a great night's sleep, right? Or maybe a good workout. You feel physically vibrant.
Yeah, that makes total sense. If I'm exhausted, my brain definitely isn't at its best.
Your physical state is a direct input. Dr. Laughlin really stresses that.
Okay, so physiology is key number one. What's the second one?
The second one is your internal representations, or IRs.
IRs, internal representations. What does that mean exactly?
It's about how your brain creates its model of the world. We don't actually perceive reality directly.
We don't.
No, our senses take in information, and our brain builds a neurological model, a representation. And our IRs, things like our attitudes, our beliefs, the learning strategies we use, they shape that internal model.
Ah, okay. So how we think and what we believe changes our internal picture of things.
Profoundly.
Yeah.
Change your IRs, and you can literally change your experience of reality and how well you function in it.
Got it. And that idea, internal representations, that links directly to memory, doesn't it? Which is so fundamental.
Absolutely. Dr. Laughlin uses a great example. Try to remember a list of, say, 20 random words.
Hard. Really hard.
Right. Rote memorization. But then, he says, put those exact same words into a vivid story.
And suddenly it's much easier. I remember doing exercises like that.
Yeah. And what that tells us is huge. Our brains are wired for stories, for connections, not just lists. So if you feel like your memory is poor, the problem probably isn't your brain's storage capacity. It's likely the encoding, how you file the information.
Like a library with a bad filing system. The books are there, just hard to find.
Perfect analogy. And this brings us right into tackling some really common and honestly limiting beliefs about memory. He calls them memory fables.
Fables. Okay, like myths we tell ourselves. What's the first one?
Fable number 1, my memory's poor.
Oh yeah, I hear that all the time. I have a terrible memory.
But according to this deep dive, the truth is, everyone basically has a perfect memory storage system. The issue isn't storage, it's recall. It's that encoding problem again.
So the brain is storing it, we just need better ways to get it back out.
Exactly. Your brain is an amazing learning machine, always taking stuff in.
Okay, good to know. What's fable number 2?
I'm not very smart.
Oof, that's a heavy one.
It is. But the sources argue intelligence is much more about practice and experience than, just genetics. Brains are like muscles. Use them, they get stronger.
So it's not fixed.
Not at all. And the really sad part, if you believe you're stupid, your brain can actually start to act that way. It filters your perception to confirm that belief.
Wow. So your belief literally shapes your brain's performance. That's
Yeah.
sobering. It makes you think.
It really does. How often do we limit ourselves without even realizing it?
Right. Okay, what's the third fable?
This one's particularly damaging, I think. The older you get, the harder it is to learn.
Another classic. Everyone seems to believe that one.
But this deep dive suggests memory loss in older people is often more tied to stress and worry about memory loss.
Than actual physiological decline.
Often, yes.
Yeah.
It can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you expect your memory to fail, you might not try as hard, or you notice every little slip-up, reinforcing the belief.
Okay, so understanding how memory actually works helps bust these myths. How does Dr. Laughlin explain the mechanics?
He breaks it down simply. You've got short-term memory, lasts maybe 15 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
seems to be based on electrical activity.
Like remembering a phone number just long enough to dial it.
Exactly. Then there's long-term memory. This involves the hippocampus, the cerebral cortex, and it can last a lifetime. Remembering your name, how to ride a bike.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a curious little detail. Short-term memory might work better earlier in the day, while long-term encoding is maybe better later on.
Interesting. So maybe time of day matters for different learning tasks.
Could be. It's worth experimenting with.
Speaking of memory, the book touches on some cool historical techniques too, right? Like the memory palace.
Yes. Cicero's system of loci, an ancient mnemonic technique. You mentally place items you want to remember in specific locations within a familiar room or building.
Like putting the first point of your speech in the first place by the door in your mental image?
Precisely. That's where phrases like "in the first place" or "in the second place" actually come from.
Huh, I never knew that.
And St. Thomas Aquinas also talked about how one memory can trigger another. This links to the idea of memory anchors, one thought or image pulling up related ones.
Okay, but despite all this potential, we still forget things. Why? Besides just bad encoding.
Well, the book mentions a few things. Emotionally painful or threatening stuff often gets suppressed, consciously or unconsciously.
Makes sense. Your brain tries to protect you.
Right. And then there are physiological factors. Smoking, for instance. There's a study mentioned. Just one cigarette apparently caused a 24% drop in memory recall for smokers.
24% from one cigarette. Wow.
Yeah, significant. And of course, alcohol and other drugs are known to impair memory function pretty clearly.
Okay, so we know the problems, we know the potential. What are the actionable strategies Dr. Laughlin gives us to improve memory?
First off, desire. You have to actually want to remember well. Visualize it. Imagine what it would feel like, look like, sound like to have a great memory.
So create that internal pull towards the goal.
Exactly. Motivation is key. Second, make memory sensory. Use VAK imagery.
VAK, visual, auditory, kinesthetic. The learning styles we talked about earlier.
Right. Connect the information to your senses. Visualize it vividly.
Yeah.
Visual. Hear it in your mind or say it aloud. Auditory. Get a feeling for it. Maybe write it down. Act it out. Kinesthetic.
So that example of remembering mackerel for blurred print.
Yeah, you could vividly see a slippery mackerel jumping on a page, blurring the print. Visual. Or you could hear the word pronounced clearly in your mind. Auditory. Or maybe feel the texture of blurred print under your fingers while thinking the word. Kinesthetic.
Does one sense work better than others?
It's less about one being universally better and more about using your strongest modalities and ideally layering them. The more sensory hooks you create.
The stronger the memory trace.
Got it. What else? Third, a really powerful one. Graduated interval recall. You might know it as spaced repetition.
Ah, yes. Reviewing information at increasing intervals.
Exactly. It's a fantastic way to move information from short-term to long-term memory, almost effortlessly. Some courses built on this, like Cybervision or the Power Learning Foreign Language Systems mentioned, claim people learn 2 to 5 times faster.
2 to 5 times faster. That's a massive difference just by timing your reviews properly.
It really is. It leverages how our brain consolidates memory. And fourth, for organizing information, pattern discovery maps.
Okay, what are those like? Mind maps.
Very similar, yes. Instead of linear notes, you create a visual web. Main idea in the center, branches going out with keywords, colors, images.
So it engages more of the brain, not just the linear list-making part.
Exactly. It's a whole brain approach. You see the relationships, the big picture, which makes it much stickier in memory.
Okay, that's a great toolkit for memory. Now, moving beyond just memory, Dr. Laughlin talks about optimizing the whole brain, starting with those VAK learning styles again.
Right. Understanding your personal learning modality.
Huh.
About 60% of us are primarily visual.
Learn by seeing, need pictures, maybe have photographic memories. Fast learners often.
Yeah. And you can sometimes tell by eye movements they tend to look up and left for recall, up and right for constructing images.
Interesting. What about the others? Auditory.
Auditory learners make up about 25%. They learn best by hearing. Good listeners often pick up languages quickly just by listening.
Relaxed posture, maybe richer voice intonation.
Often, yes.
Yeah.
And then the kinesthetics.
The doers, about 15%.
That's them. Learn by feeling, touch, movement. Think Einstein, apparently primarily kinesthetic or elite athletes. They learn best by doing. Their recall cue is often looking down to the right.
Knowing your style helps you tailor how you learn, right? Play to your strengths.
Absolutely crucial. Why fight your natural tendencies? Lean into them.
And beyond VAK, there's the whole left brain, right brain thing.
We all use both hemispheres, obviously, but most of us tend to have a preference, a dominant side for certain tasks.
So the left brain is logic language.
Language, logic, details, linear thinking, step-by-step processing. It's the side formal education tends to favor heavily.
Okay. And the right brain.
That's more about feelings, emotions, seeing the big picture, broad relationships, parallel processing, taking in lots of things at once. Intuition, creativity, live there more.
So how can we use this understanding practically? Like, to get unstuck if we're leaning too hard one way. The book had scenarios, like being in a pointless argument.
Yeah, that's often too much right brain emotion
Right.
running the show. Everyone's feeling, nobody's thinking clearly.
So how do you shift?
Dr. Laughlin suggests shifting left. A technique mentioned is writing a feelings letter. You each write down your feelings.
Writing forces you to structure it, use language.
Exactly. It engages the left brain, helps diffuse the raw emotion rationally so you can actually address the issue later.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the opposite problem? Drowning in details, losing the big picture.
Classic left brain overwhelm.
Yeah.
You need to shift right, look for the whole picture, the broader connections. Techniques like those pattern discovery maps we talked about are great for this. They force you to see connections
Right.
while using details and words. Left. Or simply stepping back and asking, what's the overall goal here?
Engaging both sides. And what about dealing with criticism? Easy to get defensive, right? Right brain takes over.
Definitely a risk. You feel attacked, emotions flare. So again, you need to shift left consciously. Dr. Sharon Crane's fogging technique is mentioned. You calmly acknowledge the criticism, maybe finding some small part you can agree with without necessarily agreeing with the whole thing or getting defensive.
Like saying, you might be right that I could have planned better instead of arguing.
Precisely. It helps you stay objective, less emotional. The book also mentions brain stretchers, specific eye movements or postures that can help shift brain activity.
Like if you're panicking in a test looking down.
Consciously looking up can engage more visual processing, potentially calming the panic by shifting your neurological state slightly.
Fascinating how physiology and focus can influence state. Okay, let's shift gears again. Absorbing information often means reading. Power reading. How do we get better at that? Speed and comprehension.
Yeah, crucial skill. Common problems hold people back, though, like back skipping.
Eyes jumping back over words you just read.
Yep. Adults apparently do it about 15% of the time, often needlessly. Slows you way down. Another is spacing out.
Oh yeah, eyes are moving, but nothing's going in. Mind is elsewhere.
Exactly. And the third big one, subvocalizing.
That little voice in your head reading along, I definitely have that.
Most people do. It
Yeah.
limits your speed to how fast you can say the words internally.
So how do we become excellent readers? What are the techniques?
First, posture and using a visual aid. Sit upright, hold the material upright if possible, and use a pointer, a pencil, your finger to guide your eyes smoothly across the page.
Forces your eyes to keep moving forward.
Right. Reduces back skipping. Second, shorten the lines visually. You can use a pencil or card to narrow the column you're reading on the page.
Like newspaper columns, they're narrow for a reason.
Exactly. It uses your peripheral vision more effectively, allows for a smoother, faster rhythm across the shorter lines.
Clever. What about speed itself? Just read faster.
Not just faster, but variably. Learn to adjust your speed.
Yeah,
You shouldn't read a complex textbook at the same speed as a light novel.
right. So maybe 150 words per minute for tough stuff.
But pushing up to 800, 900, maybe even more, for easier material where you're skimming for main ideas or just enjoying a story, flexibility is key.
And sub-vocalizing, that inner voice, can we ditch it?
Depends. For non-technical stuff, yes.
Yeah.
The trick is to read faster than your inner voice can keep up. You literally outrun it.
Okay.
But for difficult, dense material, sub-vocalizing can actually help comprehension and retention, so you might want to keep it then. It's about using it strategically.
Choose the right tool for the job. Got it.
Okay.
So we have memory, brain optimization, reading. How does this all tie into mastering life more broadly? Dr. Laughlin gets into power study.
Right. Applying these principles to actual studying, key idea.
Yeah.
Optimal chunking.
Breaking study sessions down.
Yeah, into like 30, 40-minute blocks with short 5, 10-minute breaks in between.
Why does that work better?
Because recall tends to be highest for information learned at the beginning and end of a study period, the primacy and recency effects. Shorter chunks mean more beginnings and ends.
Uh-huh. More peaks in recall.
Exactly. And crucially, reinforcing that delayed review schedule we talked about for memory.
Immediate review, 24 hours, 1 week, 1 month, 6 months.
That's the one. It's vital for locking information into long-term memory. The book claims it can boost recall by up to 500%, while only adding maybe 30–40% extra time overall. It's incredibly efficient.
That's a massive return on investment for your time. Seriously game-changing for students or anyone learning something complex.
Totally. But learning isn't just about studying. It's about overcoming hurdles like procrastination.
Ah, the universal struggle. How does this approach help there?
It uses a physics principle, static friction. It takes more force to get something started moving than to keep it moving.
Okay. So the hardest part is just beginning the task.
Often, yes. So the solution is down chunking. Break that big, overwhelming, undesirable task into tiny, manageable pieces.
Like just commit to 10 or 15 minutes.
Exactly, or even just the very first tiny step. And the advice is often to tackle the least desirable small piece first. Get that static friction overcome. Build momentum.
Get the worst bit out of the way and feel good about starting. I like that. What about just feeling tired? Fatigue kills productivity.
Absolutely. So, fatigue reduction strategies are key. Exercise, of course. Proper diet. The book mentions things like lighter lunches to avoid afternoon slumps, high-protein breakfasts.
Why high protein at breakfast?
The thinking is you have all day to digest it. Unlike a heavy lunch, afternoon naps or short meditation breaks can help too. Also, alternating physical and mental tasks and using periodic rewards to keep motivation and energy up.
It's holistic. Managing your energy is as important as managing your tasks.
Definitely. Which leads into time management. Dr. Laughlin calls it the color of time.
Intriguing name. What's the approach?
It starts with aligning your goals. Set short-term, maybe 6-month, mid-term, 5-year, and lifetime goals. Then check. Are they congruent? Do they support each other?
So you're pulling in the same direction across different timescales.
Right. And when you do your daily planning, don't just list tasks. Focus on the outcomes.
Oh.
Visualize the success. Hear positive self-talk. Feel the accomplishment of getting it done. Be pulled by the positive outcome, not just pushed by the drudgery of the task.
That reframing seems really powerful. What's like one immediate thing someone could try this week to start doing that?
Maybe spend just 5 minutes before you start your day. Close your eyes, pick your top 1-3 priorities, and vividly imagine the feeling of having already completed them successfully. Feel the relief, the satisfaction. Anchor that feeling.
Okay, I can see how that would shift your mindset for the day. Any other practical time management tips?
Yeah, a big one is paper flow mastery.
Yeah.
Basically, deal with papers, physical or digital, efficiently. The rule of thumb is handle each piece once or twice, max.
Make a decision immediately, file it, delegate it, do it, or ditch it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Avoid letting things pile up and create mental clutter. Keep your workspace focused on current priorities. It frees up surprising amounts of mental energy.
Makes sense. Now, you mentioned earlier that intelligence isn't fixed. The book really emphasizes this, doesn't it?
Hugely. It pushes back hard against the idea that intelligence is locked in by age or genetics. It can be improved.
True.
Physical activity, mental exercise, good nutrition, and crucially, an enriched, stimulating environment. He cites examples like Carl Witt getting his PhD at 14, Mozart composing at 5.
Prodigies, sure, but what about regular adults?
There are even studies mentioned with adult rats. Put them in a boring cage, intelligence stays static.
Yeah.
Put them in an enriched environment with toys and challenges. Their intelligence actually increased measurably.
So our environment and how we challenge ourselves matters. What else helps boost brain function?
Meditation comes up again. Not just for calm, but for brainwave synchrony. Getting different parts of the brain working together more coherently. This is linked to better memory, creativity, abstract thinking, even potentially slowing down biological aging.
Wow. So meditation is like a workout for brain coherence.
That's a good way to put it. And finally, understanding and using conscious state anchors.
Anchors again. Remind me.
It's about deliberately linking a desired state like confidence or focus to a specific trigger. A touch, a posture, a word.
Like creating a confidence trigger for presentations.
Exactly. You'd vividly recall or imagine feeling super confident using VAK. Maybe adopt a confident posture, feel gratitude for that state, and then at the peak of the feeling, create your anchor, like squeezing your fist. Practice that, and eventually just making the anchor can help recall the state.
So you can consciously call up resourceful states when you need them. Powerful.
Very. It puts you much more in the driver's seat of your own experience.
Okay, this has been incredibly rich. It feels like Dr. Laughlin ties it all together with a kind of recipe for success at the end.
He does. The CRAVES recipe for success. It's a great acronym to remember the key ingredients for achieving pretty much any goal.
Okay, break it down for us. CRAVES.
Right. C is for clear, specific goals. You need to know exactly what you're aiming for. R is for resources. Identify and gather what you need: time, knowledge, skills, creativity, money.
Makes sense. A.
A is for actions. You got to do things, and those actions need to be flexible, adjust if things aren't working, and persistent. Don't give up easily.
Okay. V.
V is for values. Your goals need to align with what's truly important to you, your core values. Otherwise, you'll lack motivation or feel conflicted.
Crucial.
E is for excellence, a commitment to doing your best, to high standards, to continuous improvement.
And finally,
S is for support, both external support from others and internal support from your own unconscious mind believing you can do it, having your inner resources aligned.
CRAVES. Clear goals, resources, actions, values, excellence, support. That's a really solid framework, this whole deep dive into power learning. It really does feel like a practical roadmap, doesn't it? For tapping into potential we maybe didn't even know we had.
I think so. It moves beyond just tips and tricks to understanding the underlying principles of how our minds and bodies work best.
Yeah. And hopefully for everyone listening, you feel like you've got some concrete tools now. Tools to learn faster, handle information better, maybe turn that feeling of overload into more of those aha moments.
And approach things with, more energy, more capability, more personal power, as Laughlin puts it.
Definitely. So we've covered a lot, from neurological states and memory fables to brain balance and power reading, all the way to the CRAVES model.
It's been a comprehensive journey through the material.
So to leave everyone with something to think about, what's one small shift, based on everything we've unpacked today? What's one small change in your daily routine? Maybe how you approach a tough task, or even just your internal state. What's one thing that could have the biggest ripple effect on your success and, well, your passion for life?
That's a great question to ponder. What's the smallest hint